Welcome! Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this starry-eyed tank top. This is an original design created by me. It is made to fit, so it will fit everybody's body. It is a beautiful summer staple in my wardrobe. It's super fun for layering and for different fashion and even different color explorations as you try different yarns. So this will be a kind of an intermediate project, or if you're a beginner but you're a little bit adventurous or willing to kind of go outside your box, this would be a great project for you, and I'm so excited to teach you how to do it. Let's get started. For this crochet design, you're going to need some different materials. You're going to need a tape measure because this crochet design is not done by stitch counts. It's done based off of your personal measurements, so that way it will fit you. You will also need your snips, your yarn, and your crochet hook. Now, I do recommend you do one crochet hook size bigger than what your yarn calls for because it will give you a slightly better drape and it will make the star stitch in this design a touch easier to create. So to start off with, you are going to need your first measurement, which is technically 1/3 of your bust size. So I've got the measurements down in the caption below, but for me, I am a 36-inch bust, so I'm going to do 12-inch chain. One other area of note with this is your chain does need to be a multiple of 2, so an even number. So I've completed my chain, and starting at the 12, going down to 0, I ended up with a chain of, I believe it was 44, even number. So now this is going to be my starting for this design. Now that you've got your chain stitch that matches your measurement, that is a multiple of 2, what I need you to do is add 5 stitches, or 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're going to start our setup row. This is also called our mesh row. So there'll be 2 different types of rows with the mesh. There's a mesh row and a mesh increase. So the first one we're doing here is a mesh row. So we are going to double crochet in the 5th stitch from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look here, we have a stitch, double crochet, chain stitch. Now you're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. And you can start to see the mesh design come together. So now we're going to keep going, do that all the way across. Chain 1. Skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. So now that you are at the end of the row, there's 2 stitches left, and you are going to put a double crochet in that last stitch. This is also a way to know if your count is off, because if you do not have a double crochet in the last stitch there with 1 skip stitch, your count would be incorrect. So now we've got our first mesh or setup row. What we're going to do now, you can see the little gaps in between it, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Now we're working on the back side or the wrong side. What we're going to be doing is putting a single crochet in each double crochet and chain stitch all the way across. So now at the end here is when you need to be extra careful of where you put the single crochets. So as you can see, I've put the one in the top of this double crochet, but I have got this chain stitch here that counts as a double crochet and a chain stitch. So I'm going to need to put one in the double crochet and in the chain stitch. So I have one here, I'm going to put one in the chain stitch, and then one in the double crochet. These are really important because they're going to make sure that you have the right number of stitches in order to complete the star stitch, which will be our next row. You're going to chain 3 and you're going to flip your work to the front side. Now is the row that we're going to be doing the star stitch. This one you have to be a little bit cognizant of your stitches. It's not a complicated stitch, but it does require you to focus and pay attention to what you're doing. Starting our star stitch row, so I have chain 3 to start with. Insert your hook in the second stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now I have 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now I have 3 loops on the hook. Insert it into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, 4 loops, 5 loops, 6 loops. Once I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yarn over, pull through. Chain 1 to secure it. That will be the center of your star. To continue this stitch across, what you're going to do is insert your hook into the star of your stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now I have 2 loops on the hook. Now I'm going to insert it between the legs of my last star, yarn over and pull through. Now I have 3. Now I'm going to insert it at the base of the star, 4. Then I'm going to insert it individually into these next 2 stitches. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, pull through, chain to secure. You're going to insert it into the center, yarn over, pull through. Now I'm going to insert it between the last 2 legs of the last star, yarn over and pull through. Now I'm going to insert it at the base of the stitch, yarn over and pull through. Then I'm going to insert it in the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. Insert it into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, chain to secure it. Okay, we'll go through that again. Insert it into the center of the star, yarn over and pull through. Between the legs, at the base, next 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm going to keep doing this stitch all the way across until I reach the end. All right, so I'm nearly at the end of the row. I've got 2 stitches left. I've done my stars all the way across. I'm going to do my last star normally. But now what I'm going to do is place 1 half double crochet stitch right here in the last stitch at the end. That really smooths it out, so it's going to have a nice lay to it. Now what I want you to do is chain 1 and you're going to flip your work. Now we're working on the wrong side of our design, so you can see the stars on this side, the centers of the stars go all the way across. This is the wrong side. So now what we're going to do is place 2 half double crochet stitches in the center of each star. Now they're easier to see from the front, so if you want to put stitch markers in them or something like that, that's a really effective tool that you can use to make sure that you are putting them in the center. So they're right here. You can also see them from the back. Just not as easily. So you're going to take your hook and place 2 half double crochet stitches in the center of each star all the way back across. And if you flip it to the right side, you can really see the design of the star. Okay, now that you've reached the end of the row, I've placed 2 half double crochet stitches in each star all the way across. Now I have my last star here. I'm going to place 2 half double crochet stitches in. Then you're also going to place one extra half double crochet in this stitch right here on top. So you can see that it's like the prongs of the star right there. You can see it looks like a normal chain stitch. There's one half double crochet there. Now you're going to chain 3 and you're going to turn. You're going to place one half double crochet in the base of this stitch right here. So we have our 1, 2, 3 right here in the 4th one. This starts our mesh increase because that is a double crochet, a chain stitch, and a double crochet in the technically the same stitch. So now you're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, all the way across. Crochet. You're going to continue like normal, but instead of just placing one double crochet in the end, you're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. This is going to start to provide your increases on both sides so that it starts to go out so the tank top fits you nicely. So now what we're going to do, chain 1, flip your work. You are going to put a single crochet in each stitch across, including the chain stitch and the top of the double crochet at the end of the row here. So now that I'm at the end of the row, I'm going to place a single crochet in the top of this double crochet stitch. Single crochet in the chain stitch. Single crochet at the top of the last mock double crochet. So now I've done a mesh increase row and a single crochet row. Now it's time to go back to our star stitch. I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to flip my work. So now I'm working on the front side. I'm going to get this started with my first star. Insert it, loop over. Insert it, yarn over and loop through. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, chain 1. First star is done. Now I'm going to go back to the normal way. I'm going to insert my hook into the center of the star, yarn over and pull through. I'm going to insert it between the 2 prongs or the legs of the last star stitch, at the base of the star stitch, and in the next 2 stitches. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yarn over and pull through, chain 1 to secure. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way across. All right, I have come to the end of my star stitch row. I've got 1 star left to make. Don't forget to put your 1 half double crochet there at the base of your star stitch, chain 1 and turn. So now I'm working on the wrong side of my design. What I'm going to then be doing is my half double crochet row, which is just a completion of the star where you put 2 half double crochet stitches in the center of each star all the way across. 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember that completes our star shape, and we're going to do that all the way across. Putting 2 half double crochet in the last star, and then remember place 1 at the very end in that stitch to smooth it out. So for this design, you are going to complete rows of mesh increase, single crochet, star stitch, half double crochet. Then you're going to go back to the mesh increase and continue that order of these stitches until your top measures 1/2 of your bust size. So for me, that will be 18 inches. So this is where my tape measure then comes in handy. Measure every single time you finish a half double crochet row, because that will be your most accurate measurement. So mine's about 12.5 right now. So I'm going to continue to go until it is about 18 inches across. All right, so I have continued my rows of my mesh increase, single crochet, star stitch, and half double crochet. You can see I've got that nice increase shape to give the nice design, and it measures at 18 inches, which is 1/2 of my bust size. So now what we're going to be doing is making the downward shape of our tank top design. So the only difference between what we've been doing and what we're about to do is our mesh row is going to be just a touch different. We're not going to be doing a mesh increase row, we're going to be doing just a mesh row. So let me go over the steps of that with you. All right, so I've done my half double crochet row, I've chained 3 and turned. Now what I'm going to do is start my mesh row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip this stitch because it already has a double crochet in it. I'm going to skip this stitch because that's when I skip, and I'm going to place a half double crochet in the next stitch. So while it looks like I'm skipping 2, this counts as a half double crochet, so I'm only skipping 1. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to continue to do this all the way across just like I normally would. All right, so I've reached the end of my mesh row. I'm going to end it like I would. Just placing 1 stitch in there at the end instead of 2. So now, instead of increasing out more, this is going to start going straight. So that way your tank top fits you nicely. After that, we're going to continue our pattern like normal. We're going to chain 1. Flip our work, single crochet in each stitch across. I've almost reached the end of my single crochet row. As with all of our other mesh rows, we need to make sure that we place a single crochet in the chain stitch and the top of our last faux double crochet and chain stitch. Then you're going to chain 3, flip your work to the right side, and we're going to start a star stitch row. Well, this is very familiar to what we've been doing. Only thing that is changing with this is that we are no longer doing the increases. Completing my last star, half double crochet at the end. I have finished my star stitch row, chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, place 2 half double crochet in the center of each star across. So again, it is the exact same thing that you have been doing, only difference is that mesh row. So as you can see right here, we're no longer increasing outward, we're starting to go down, which is kind of what we want this tank top design to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue doing the mesh row, single crochet, star stitch, half double crochet until our tank top reaches whatever length we want it to be. So if you want yours a little bit shorter, you can do it as a crop top. If you want it longer, you can do a full tank. It's really however long you want your tank top to be. So just continue those rows until it's the length you want. All right, so now I have reached the desired length for my tank top. So I have done it where it is 10 iterations of the pattern, so I can know that pretty easily by counting my star rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and for this hook and yarn weight, it will give me kind of a nice crop top, which is really fun for summer. You can see the shape go out and then down and straight. And what we're going to go ahead and do now is you're going to snip your yarn, pull it through, and we're going to be doing the other side of the panel. So I'm not a big fan of sewing my projects, so a lot of mine are crocheted together so that I do not have a bunch of ends and sewing and all of the extra time consuming things. So I'm going to show you how I start that. All right, so of course you can just create a second panel and sew it together if that's more comfortable for you. This is just what I like to do with these kinds of designs because, again, I don't really like sewing in my ends, so this kind of negates that. So I am on the front side of the design right now. What I need to go ahead and do is flip into the wrong side. I'm going to be working in the top here, and I'm going to be mirroring this panel on the back. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with a slip stitch. And I'm going to start in that first faux double crochet in the corner. Make sure you're not in the chain stitch. Make sure you're in the double crochet. So I inserted my hook into that loop of the double crochet. I'm going to pull my slip stitch loop through. I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to place a single crochet right there in that corner because that's my first stitch. Then I'm going to place one in the chain stitch, then in the double crochet. Then I'm going to stop because I need to make my neck hole. So this is how it started. This is also how it's going to be on the other side over here. You're going to do it in the first 2 double crochet stitches on either side. But what I need to do now is I need to chain so that I can make it across this gap. So what I have to do is I have to count the number of chain stitches and double crochet stitches across to know how many to chain. So I know that I'm going to place a single crochet here, here, and here. I'm not going to count those. I'm going to start with counting the necks, and I'm going to stop when I reach over here to know how many to chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So I'm going to chain 41. 1, 2, 3, 4, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So, okay, so I have my 41. Now I'm going to place a single crochet in one of my double crochet stitches at the end, mirroring what I have over here. I'm going to place a single crochet in the chain stitch, then in my double crochet stitch. So now I'm starting my new panel with it already connected. I do not have to sew. This is my hole that my head's going to go in. So now I need to do my mesh row. So I'm going to chain 3, flip onto the right side, I'm not going to do this like the mesh setup row. This is going to be a normal mesh row, so I'm going to skip 1, 2, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. All right, as I've reached the end of this row, I'm placing 1 double crochet stitch in that last stitch. And you can see pretty easily that they're matching up. I can even lay it on top of it if I wanted to kind of see how it would look. And what you're going to be doing now is you are going to be making this panel identical to the other one you made. So however many mesh increases you did is how many you're going to do on this side as well. So how I like to do it is I like to count how many mesh increases I did, and you can pretty easily see it because it's got that little V in the corner. You can look at it from the front side as well, where the mesh rows do not have the little V in the corner. So this was our setup row. This one doesn't count. So now I can count all the ones with the V in the corner to know how many increases I need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 5 mesh increases. So I'm going to mirror it on this side. So I just did a mesh row. So now I go through a single crochet row. So I'm going to chain 1, flip my work onto the wrong side, and I'm going to single crochet across. As I end my single crochet row, I place 1 single crochet in the chain stitch and 1 single crochet in the double crochet. Okay, now that I've done a mesh row and a single crochet row, I'm going to need to do a star stitch row. So I'm going to chain 3, flip my work to the front side, and continue that row. All right, so I have finished my star stitch row. Now it's time to go to my half double crochet row. So I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to flip my work to the wrong side, and I'm going to do 2 double crochet in each eye across. All right, now I finished my half double crochet row. I'm going to do my first mesh increase row, because you can see I've got my starter row, a single crochet row, a star stitch row, half double crochet row. So now I need to do a mesh increase row. So I'm going to chain 3, flip my work because I'm working on the right side for this stitch. I'm going to place a double crochet stitch right here, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way across, and I'm going to be placing 2 double crochet stitches in the last stitch. At the end of the row, I'm going to place 1 double crochet stitch, chain 1, another double crochet stitch. And that is my first mesh increase of this panel. So now I can even lay them on top of each other and start to see the mirroring of the design. So I can start to see the increases. So I'm going to do, remember, the same number of mesh increases on this panel that I did on the other one. For me, it is 5. So I'm going to continue this pattern of single crochet, star stitch, half double crochet, mesh increase until I have the same number. So I'll check back in with you then. All right, so we have done all of our increase rows for the second panel. So now we're going to switch over to our mesh rows, not our mesh increase rows, but our mesh rows. And we want to have it be the same number as we have on the other panel, so we can just as easily count as we did before. So I'm going to find the last increase, which is right here, and then I'm going to count to see how many mesh rows I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to continue this pattern for 4 more rotations, doing mesh rows and not mesh increases. And you can lay it on top to kind of see how it's looking so far if you want. See how we've got both panels, they line up beautifully. Now I'm going to start the downward shape. So I'm going to check back in with you once I've done that to show you how I seam the sides. All right, so now that I've finished my second panel, it's now going to be time to seam the sides together. So if you have got a way of sewing that you prefer to use, by all means go for it. I like to crochet my projects together, and I'm going to show you how I do that if you want to give it a try. So I have not snipped or cut my end yet. I'm still connected to my skein of yarn, so that way I can just keep on crocheting it together, and again, then I'm going to have no end to weave in right there. I'm going to be going up until the top of my first increase that I get to as I'm going up the side. So I am going to be crocheting this vertically. So I've taken my piece and I've laid it on top of each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be crocheting these 2 sides of the panel together and then these 2 sides. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is open it up a little bit. So that way I am able to see both the sides as I'm seaming them together. And so what you're going to be doing is I'm going to first take this loop and I've got to connect them together. So I'm going to go into the last half double crochet of the previous round or previous piece, and I'm going to pull the loop through so that way I have a loop. And then I'm going to chain 1. So that way they are now connected. What you're going to be doing is placing 1 single crochet seam stitch into each one of these stitches and 2 for each of the half double crochets. So what you're going to be doing is placing each of your seam stitches into your design. So I'm going to need to place 1 at the half double crochet row, 1 at the star stitch row, 1 in the single crochet row, and then 2 in the half double crochet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be placing it into the side loop of my half double crochet, pull up a loop. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It's going to look a little bit different, but you can see that there's 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 1 in each of those. I'm going to place it in that on the same side, pull up a loop. Now I've got 3 loops on there, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing for my star stitch row. Insert it, and you're going to try and do 1 or 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. Same thing on the other side, pull it up, pull through all 3. So now I've done 1 for the half double crochet, 1 for the star stitch, and I can really easily count them right here because you can see them. Then I'm going to place 1 here in the single crochet on both sides. Then I'm going to seam it. Now you can see I'm up to the double crochet on both panels. So now I'm going to be placing 2 in this one because this is a taller stitch. So 1, 2. It is important to make sure that whatever side you're inserting your hook into first, that it is consistent. So I'm inserting it into this panel first, then going to the second one. So I need to do that all the way across, otherwise my stitches will get a little bit messy. Okay, so now I'm to the star stitch and the half double crochet. So I'm not putting it right here because that would be the top of the stitch. I'm going to place it right here. Pull up a loop. Then I got to come to the other side. Insert, pull up a loop, pull through all 3. Okay, now I'm to the star stitch. Insert it in, pull up a loop, insert it in, pull up a loop, pull through all 3. And you can kind of start to see, I really like the look of visible seaming. If you prefer invisible seaming, you can always do a mattress stitch or anything else. This is just my favorite way. So you're going to continue seaming all the way up, putting 1 stitch in each of the stitches, 2 in the double crochets. You're going to seam all the way up until you reach the top of your first increase that you encounter. So when I get to right here, I'm going to stop. All right, so I have seamed all the way up, and I have done both of my stitches in my first increase double crochet. So now I'm going to need to finish the armhole. But what I need to do for that is I'm going to need to finish it one more time with a seam that goes into the base of my increase. So right here and right here. That's going to give me like a starting point for me to single crochet around the edge of the sleeve or the armhole. Okay, so now we're going to be placing a single crochet in each of the same stitches all the way around your armhole, except you're just not going to be connecting them. So this gives it a nice finish on the edge and makes it look really nice and neat. So I'm starting here with a half double crochet, so I'm going to place 1 single crochet in the edge of that half double crochet. So usually it's going to be about 2, I try to get 2 loops if I can, just because it'll make it a little more secure. So now for the star stitch, 1, for the single crochet, 1, for the double crochet, 1 in each part of it. Then we're going back to the half double crochet, so I'm going to place 1 stitch in there. One in the star stitch, 1 in the single crochet, and 2 in the double crochet. And as you can see, that's going to give me a nice finish and make my design look really polished. Now I'm back to the half double crochet, star stitch, single crochet, double crochet, So now that I'm reaching the top, I have a double crochet, so 1, 2. Now that I'm at the top, I had just a single crochet in that, so I'm just going to be placing 1 in there, and then I'm going to continue. Now I'm at a double crochet again, so I know I'm going to be placing 2 stitches throughout it. So now that brings me right to a single crochet, star stitch, half double crochet, double crochet. Single crochet, star stitch, half double crochet, double crochet. All right, as you can see, I've almost made it back around to the seam. So I'm in the star stitch right now. Place 1 stitch in that half double crochet. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna loop this through. I'm gonna snip off with a little bit of a tail, pull it through. And then I find a much more seamless way to approach it is not to put a slip stitch into there, but to pull the yarn through and then back through the stitch. And then I will knot that and weave that in a minute. But now you can see we've got this nice finished looking armhole. Nice, I like the visible stitching on the side. Here, I'll open it up so you can see what it looks like there. But we got that nice seaming, nice armhole, and now we're gonna get to do the same thing on the other side. So really the only difference between this one on the side here is you're gonna have to start with a slip knot because we don't already have working yarn on this side. This has been cut, so I don't have the opportunity to work with that. So the only difference here is that we're now gonna be working with attaching the yarn. So I've got my 2 panels I'm going to be putting together. And so remember, these are going to be looped through the last half double crochet stitches of each row. So sometimes you can tie off your yarn. It's kind of up to you on how you want to do it. So I'm going to pull a loop through. Pull it through the other side. And then I'm going to chain 1 to secure it. Then I'm going to get started and I'm going to keep making this one the exact same way as the other one. So I'm starting in a half double crochet, half double crochet. So now I've done my visible seaming all the way up the side. I've done my 2 and my double crochet first increase that I found. So now what I'm going to do is place 1 more seam stitch at the base of both of those double crochets. Then I'm going to place 1 single crochet all the way around. So I have single crocheted all the way around the armhole. I've placed my last single crochet back there and my last half double crochet. So now I'm going to snip my yarn, leaving a tail, pull through, and then I'm going to place it at the top of my last seam stitch from the row, and I'm going to pull it back through the same stitch. So now all we've got left to do is finish off the neckline and we will be finished. So we're going to finish off the neckline very similar to how we did the armholes. It's just going to be single crochet stitches all the way around because it gives it, again, that nice clean finish. So you're going to take your yarn, make a slip knot. I'm going to come over here to the side corner. I'm going to insert my hook into that same stitch that has my last single crochet from where we made the second panel. So there's already a single crochet there, but I'm going to pull up a loop. I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to place a single crochet in that same stitch. And then I'm going to place one single crochet in every stitch across, every chain stitch and every double crochet stitch. Okay, so I've reached the other side of this row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a single crochet in the top of that double crochet. I'm going to jump over to the other side, place a single crochet there. Then I'm going to place it in the next chain stitch. Then the next double crochet stitch. Next chain stitch. I'm back to my first single crochet, so I'm going to snip a little bit of a tail. And then I'm going to end it the same way how I did the armholes, where I pull my stitch open, bring the yarn through, pull it back through the stitch. And again, I feel like that just gives me a little bit of a nicer looking finish to it, and I'll tie it off on the inside. All right, so after you've done your single crochets on the side, the armholes, and the neck, all you have left to do is weave in your ends. And one of the beautiful things about this design is there are very few ends to weave in, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And ta-da! You have finished your own starry-eyed tank top. If you do make this design, I would love to see pictures of it. So my Instagram is down there in the caption below. Please tag me if you post them. I would love to see what you guys create. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I am super excited to share this design with you, and I hope you enjoy it.